And then I had to kill him, and the police are still looking for me. Because we watched Season 7, Episode 8, The Pool Guy. Hello, Katie.
Hello, Derek. Would you like me to read most of your lines since you are coughing?
No, I'll be okay.
Okay.
So how did you like The Pool Guy?
I liked Jerry in this. I was neutral on Elaine and Susan. And I liked George at the beginning, but not when his worlds collided. I found him speaking in the third person to be supremely annoying, and I didn't like the rest of the episode.
Okay.
Did you like it?
No, I don't think so. The Pool Guy was written by David Mandel. It was directed by Andy Ackerman, and it aired on November 16th, 1995. Vulture.com ranked it as the 66th best episode.
That seems high.
Screen Crush ranked it as the 45th best episode.
What?
And IMDb gave it an 8.3 out of 10, and it slotted into the 85th best ranked.
Do you think there's a recency effect for these
episode
ranking sites? They're just going to rank the later episodes higher because they're more salient?
I do think they're also funnier. But
this one is not funny.
Both Vulture and Screen Crush, in their little synopsis of the episode, only mentioned Kramer and getting a new phone number and movie phone and nothing else.
Does that make up for everything else?
Well, as previously discussed in previous podcasts, didn't we figure out that Screen Crush, he was just going by, he didn't watch the episodes and rank them, he was just going by memory?
And didn't one of them say that if something enters the zeitgeist as a cultural touchstone, it makes it a bad episode, not a good one? Like the Soup Nazi?
Oh, I think he said that, and we overthink of how good it is because it entered the zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
But they did mention, first off, they talked, apparently there's still moviephone.com. And it was like, I can't use moviephone.com without saying, why don't you just tell me what movie you'd like to see?
I did laugh at that part.
Have you ever used Moviephone? Did you ever use Moviephone?
I don't know. I think I used telephone banking at some point, but I don't think I ever used Moviephone because we always had the newspaper.
I 100% used Moviephone one time, and it was definitely because of this episode.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember what movie you asked for?
No, absolutely not.
So if you don't know what's playing, do you just say, I guess tell me everything that's playing everywhere?
No, I think it's like if you don't have a newspaper, you're like, oh, I want to go see the new
Channel.
Yep. Or Agent Zero or
Brown Eyed Girl.
Do you think that they just wanted to get
Fun.
this episode out to put a whole bunch of fake movies into the Seinfeld universe?
I do think that they really enjoy making fake movies.
Yeah.
Firestorm. Jerry saw it last week. Twice.
Prognosis negative.
So who are the guest stars?
So not too many guest stars in this episode. We had Wayne Knight and Heidi Swedberg reprising their roles as Newman and Susan, respectively. We had Carlos Jacot, playing Ramon. He was in Grosse Pointe Blank, Fun with Dick and Jane, and Being John Malkovich.
Oh. He looks vaguely like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I could see that. The other guest star that had a very minor role as one of the guys in the
Health Club
that come say oh, I heard you went to the movies with Ramon, was Alec Mappa. He was in Ugly Betty, Half and Half, and he is often a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh. Which one was he? Standing in the front or standing behind?
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't recognize him from this episode, and I wasn't going to include him. I was like, oh, we'll just get the Pool Guy's info. But then his little headshot on IMDb, I'm like, oh, that guy.
Oh, interesting. I didn't recognize him.
No.
Okay, I looked him up, and I do recognize him from
Yeah.
Drag Race.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So let's throw it back to last week when I asked you about this episode.
Yeah, Jerry at the health club, the pool guy tries to befriend him, and Jerry doesn't want anything to do with him.
And?
I mean, I guess I nailed it.
Yeah, you did. I'll read the synopsis. Jerry's pool guy tries to befriend him. Elaine starts hanging out with Susan and raging George. Kramer's number gets confused with the movie phone guy. So there was a line in the stand-up. Jerry's talking about the pound sign.
Yep.
And tic-tac-toe. And it took me a second to understand that you have to press Archie's head.
Oh, the drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the cross-hatching. It really took me a second. And there was a mention of the redial button.
Yep. Kind of doesn't exist anymore.
No. Have you ever used it? I didn't know there was a redial button.
I remember the redial button.
Okay.
I do enjoy referring to the pound sign by its official name, an octothorpe.
Mm-hmm, you would.
And it really bothers me when people are referring to pounds, like how much something weighs, and they use that.
Oh no.
I really hate it.
No. I thought you were going to say when people refer to it as a hashtag.
I understand that. I don't agree with it.
So George asks Jerry who would win in a fight between the two of them. And then Jerry asks Elaine when she comes in, he goes, who would win, Mano or Baldo? And Elaine says George.
Because he fights dirty. Who do you think would win?
George. He's pulling hair, growing stuff.
I think he wants it more.
He needs it. Jerry would be worried about messing up his face. Moneymaker.
Sure.
Where the jokes come out of.
Mm-hmm. What does George have going for him? He has nothing to lose.
So Elaine tries to get Jerry to come to this historical clothing exhibition at the Met. He won't go. George won't go. Kramer walks in and she's like, I have no one to go with.
Not even entertain inviting Kramer. At the end of the scene, after Jerry suggested, why don't you invite Susan? The pause before Kramer delivering the line, that's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
Was just so perfect.
Kramer says to Elaine, you're a man's woman. Women hate you. She says, thank you.
I don't know if that's a sarcastic thank you or not.
I don't know either. Do you think it's a red flag when somebody doesn't have any friends of their own gender? No. Or they're like, I can't relate to other... It's usually women who say that. I can't relate to other women.
No, I don't think so. Do you?
Yeah. I think if you've decided that you can't be friends with women, whether you're a man or a woman, is a problem.
Sexist.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you would think that's a red flag for you because you are a woman, though.
Kramer has to get a new phone number because he said too many chicks have
too many chicks, man.
Why did I write, what would be the point of that?
When George was on the phone and Elaine asked, can I talk to Susan? Come on. Sure, yeah. No, really, what's up?
So this is interesting to me because George and Elaine are kind of friends-in-law through Jerry, right? The times that they have been together on a caper is like the exception.
I mean, I think that has... The closeness of their relationship has wavered throughout episodes. Sure. And sometimes they play that they're friends-in-law for the situation. Other times they go and get soup together.
They just happen to be in line at the same time. And so Kramer and Jerry go to the movies, and Jerry insists on the buffer zone.
Yeah.
But then later, with Elaine, no buffer zone.
Well, it's a woman.
If you went to the movies with a male friend, would you have a buffer zone?
No. I think a buffer zone at a movie is like a little too much.
What if the theater's empty?
I don't know. I only go to the VIP. I do agree that, like, even you and I, when we sit on the couch and watch TV, we are not sitting directly beside each other.
Well, because the center seat sucks. Nobody likes it.
Irregardless. Maybe that center seat sucked. It didn't have any lumbar.
We are looking for a new couch.
Please send Close Stalkers your couch recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody has one of those internet couches that you buy on the internet and never sit on, if they're any good, let us know.
Yeah, I'm kind of gun shy about buying a couch I haven't sat on, because that's how we got this piece of crap. It had random keys in it.
Did have random keys in it. And my phone falls between the cushions every night.
Every night.
And you laugh and laugh and laugh.
Because I hear it, and then I look over at you, and you're so mad. But you never take it out of your pocket to keep it from falling in between the cushions.
I shouldn't have to.
And I realized that my hand can fit there. I can reach down and get your phone for you. You don't have to fold out the footrest and climb on the floor and lay on your belly and like stick your arm under the couch and pull them out.
This just totally reminded me of when I was a teenager, we had a Nissan Pathfinder.
I believe you still had that car when we started dating.
Possibly. And similarly, coins, like at one point had fallen out of somebody's pockets and they'd gotten into the like tracks where the
yeah.
And like the seat got like jammed up at the front and like the coins jammed it so you couldn't get it back. It's a real problem.
Do you remember the prank I played on you?
You changed our car's like seat position memory.
Just yours.
Just mine. So that I was scrunched up and like basically choked to death by the so close to the steering wheel. It just kept moving forward and forward and forward. And I was in a hurry taking our daughter to swimming lessons.
Yes.
So then I didn't have time to readjust it. So I just moved it back and then all of the mirrors were in the wrong position.
I forgot that I had done that because you don't drive very often. So I did it. And then weeks later, this happened. It was the perfect long con. It was weeks.
Was it?
Yeah. And
I don't think it was weeks.
yes, it was. And I did it because you like to sit up really high. So when I get in the car, my head like is pushed up against the ceiling. And I have to, do my memory button. But what it does is I like to sit a little bit closer but lower down. So I'm pushed way up high. So it moves me closer first and then down. So I'm like smushed up against the steering wheel and then get comfortable. And so I pranked you. And I guess our kid was controlling the music in the car, but it briefly, because you were still in front of the house, it like cast to the kitchen speaker instead of the car. And me and my cousin and his wife were in the kitchen and you had left, take her to swimming. So we're just standing around. You guys leave. All of a sudden there's this huge like, and then did you text me?
I think I texted you something like, haha, very funny.
And I didn't get it at first because I thought it was related to the sound. And then I remembered the memory.
When I get into the car and the seat is in your position, I feel like I'm positioned just like a French bulldog wiping its ass across the carpet. Like
what?
That's the vision I get in my mind.
What do you mean?
Because you also have the seat tilted kind of like back more than I do. So I feel like my like legs are out and I'm like, when my hands are on the wheel and I gotta like. That's the visual I get. Whenever.
So you're saying that I drive a car laid back. And
you drive a car like this, and I drive a car like this. I want to be up high so I can like see things.
I want to be comfortable, and so my head doesn't touch the ceiling.
Apparently, comfortable means dragging your ass across the carpet.
You have a longer torso than me, and I have longer legs than you, and we are exactly the same height.
A little bit taller.
555-3455. Filk.
Do you remember when you would try to get a phone number that would spell something out with the last 4 digits of your...
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
And I think now if you tell someone that your phone number is number, and then a word. They're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Kids these days, they don't know.
They don't know. I remember a stand-up comedian used to had a bit about tricking people by putting the dash in the wrong place in his phone number, and it would totally confuse people.
So Kramer is getting phone calls for movie phone
Mm-hmm.
because people are misdialing 555 film, and he's answering their questions. And he goes,
I got time.
What do you think Susan and Elaine talked about when when Elaine said she'd put it in the vault?
Oh, I assume that she was going to tell Elaine something about George.
Yeah.
But that kind of never really went anywhere.
No, it didn't. Jerry thinks they talk about flower shows, pretty bows, and getting in their pajamas and having a tickle fight.
Yep. And I felt like that joke was somewhat forced. I felt like the joke afterward where she was like, that's really what you think we do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yes, that was funnier.
Yeah.
And then I wrote Spicy Elaine because she says she doesn't give a shit while she's closing the bathroom door.
She doesn't fully say the word.
But we know what she said.
Got that one by the censors.
I'm gonna put a door slamming noise instead of the usual beep.
Past the censors. So we haven't really talked about Ramon.
No, because it's not a great story.
This was drastically rewritten
Oh.
From the original draft or teleplay or whatever it was, because to reduce the amount of racist undertones, because they initially wrote it as a Hispanic person, and they hired an actor, non-Hispanic actor, a Jewish actor,
Okay.
to do a Hispanic accent.
Oh, no.
And they were like, the actor was like, no, don't do this. So they recast it with Carlos Jacket to not do like a Hispanic accent and just be
an annoying pool guy.
Yeah, they were going for like psychopath, like creepy.
Yeah.
And something interesting that you said you liked Jerry in this episode, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking like up until the pool incident, which we're kind of getting to, Jerry's like very reasonable. Like he's like, I'm living my life. A weird guy that works at a place that I patron, like wants to be friends with me, and like we don't have anything in common. I don't really want to be friends with him. He's showing up at my place unannounced. I have stuff I want to do. I'm not giving him any signs that I'm enjoying myself.
So you're saying he should have given him mouth to mouth?
No, I while I was watching this, I was like, Jerry's acting very reasonably.
Yeah.
Like, which is, atypical. Usually people are acting poorly and they get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
Whereas Jerry is acting very reasonably.
And he still gets his comeuppance.
And he gets, well.
He and Newman are not welcome back at the club.
But because they don't act reasonably.
Yeah, I mentioned how I really didn't like all the George is getting upset. George is this.
George is getting angry.
Yeah.
Worlds are colliding. You're killing independent George.
It's not funny. And also he said, a George divided cannot stand. But he wants to divide George. He wants relationship George to be different from independent George.
But if relationship George never comes to the apartment, it will never be there to divide independent George.
Okay. That's a stretch. I didn't understand when Elaine called 555 Filk. Why didn't Kramer know when Chow Fun was on? He had the paper. He just didn't say anything.
I don't know. It was weird.
Kramer has a lamp that looked like, I know it wasn't cell phones, but it was a glass thing that had like an array of glass rectangles that looked like iPhones all around it.
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that before. And a car bench seat as a couch.
George had a Nerf ballzooka.
Yep.
Do you remember the ballzooka?
No.
Definitely.
I wasn't allowed to have Nerf guns.
Oh, no?
Mm-mm.
I had a Nerf Aerostorm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my neighbor across the street had a ballzooka. And we definitely, like, in the basement made American Gladiator-esque obstacle courses for us to, like, hide and duck and try to, like, get to the goal.
The ballzooka shot like a racquetball size thing, right?
Yeah, a little bit smaller than a racquetball. I'd say more like a golf ball size thing. Aerostorm had like, I want to say like 7-inch long foam arrows, like cylinders.
So was it like a bow that you would load up a row of arrows?
No, so I had something that shot similar size Nerf golf balls. I can't remember what that was called though. And it was like a bow and arrow, and you pulled the string back and it hit the thing. The Aerostorm looked a lot like a ballzooka, where it had like a circle at the front.
Sure.
And there was just like, I don't know, either like 6 or 8 arrows in the front, and it would like rotate, and you'd shoot one off and it would turn as you fired.
Remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza shooter?
Yeah.
That was cool. Have we seen all the pasta people before? Besides Fusilli Jerry?
So in the Fusilli Jerry episode, Kramer shows off one of his other pasta creations, and this is just like we see them in the background in this episode. But
I figure Elaine is the sort of wagon wheel shaped pasta.
Could be. I don't know. Why do you think Elaine is the wagon wheel one?
Because it sort of looked like curly hair.
Oh, okay.
What's that pasta shape called? There's a food trivia thing you don't know?
Pasta's not really my thing.
Says the man who just informed me there's a pasta tour of Italy.
There is a pasta tour of Italy. Dan Pashman from the Sporkful.
Curated.
Who I've been on a podcast with. Has organized a 9-day, 2 different tours. One is Rome to Naples, and the other one is like something else to Naples.
Okay.
Where you follow his journey while he was researching information about his latest cookbook, Mission Impastable.
Okay.
Or Anything is Pastable. I think anything is pastable. Okay. I don't know. We're not affiliated, so I don't need to know the details of his book.
But he's not even going to be on this trip. You can just
I don't think so.
Take a trip that he's like, go here.
But he worked with the tour organizer. So you'd like, the tour organizer's whole thing is like you go to like local places.
Okay.
It's like get to see Italy like a real local would. I don't know.
Like a super food nerd would.
Probably. Rotel. Probably rotelle. Or also ruote.
Is it an American-Italian thing to like cut off the end of Italian words? Like prosciutto?
Mozzarella?
Yeah.
Probably.
So at this point, we're in the pool.
Why would the pool guy be cleaning the pool while people are swimming in the pool?
Well, he's whacking Jerry with the brush. And I just wrote bathing costume, freckly shoulders, and butt hair.
So, unfortunately, Wayne Knight felt too embarrassed about this scene to film it in a normal bathing suit. And so the staff was like, well, what if we put you in this ridiculous old-timey bathing suit? And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
I mean, it's a bathing costume is funnier than trunks. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Was I imagining it, or was there like a lot of lower back hair on Jerry?
I was not looking at his lower back.
There was
Is Jerry Seinfeld a rat ass?
There was like a merkin back there. And then George goes to the wrong showing, is yelling for Jerry and Susan, saying they're laughing and lying and laughing.
Apparently that was a line that David Mendel's girlfriend screamed at an apartment while she was drunk outside it one night.
About him?
No, like she was like yelling it at the to the apartment, like you're laughing and lying. And then Susan kind of dumps Jerry and Elaine
because they talk too much.
That's all they do. Sit around and talk. What does she do? She sits in George's apartment.
She's always reading a magazine on his couch.
Yeah.
And then really impatient to watch Mad About You. It's taped. So I know she was like a TV executive.
Yep.
Does she still do that? Do we know anything about her life outside of George's apartment?
No, not really. I mean, this is the most screen time she's gotten in a very long time.
And then the tag has the real movie phone guy.
Russ Leatherman.
Wow, what a name.
Unfortunately, was not available to film the scene, but did provide his actual voice for the VO.
I thought maybe like we can't know what the movie phone guy looks like, so he's just filmed from behind.
You can hear his voice, but you can never see his face. Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone.
Why does he say hello?
I don't know. What accent is that? Is it an accent? Is it a bit?
I don't know.
I'm 90% sure that it's very, like, if you called Movie Phone, that's exactly what's going on.
Like right now?
I don't know if it exists anymore. What? You can't dial 555.
I'm just going to look
This isn't a movie.
Phone. Maybe the website has auto-playing audio.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the movie Last Action Hero where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pulled out of a movie in that movie, and the kid that is watching the movie has to like explain to him that he's not in a movie anymore?
I didn't see this
and
movie.
And one of the facts that he uses is like, what about phone numbers? How come everybody's phone number starts with 555? He was like, that's why we have area codes.
I liked in Community when Abed is making a commercial for Jeff's independent law firm and it goes out of business. And he's like, maybe it would have helped if you put my phone number in the commercial. And Abed's like, started with 555. No one's going to believe that.
It's very meta. It's very meta for that show.
Well, that's all I have for this episode. Kind of a dud.
I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Do you know which episode won the award for Best Episodic Comedy at the Writers Guild of America Awards in 1996?
The pool guy?
The pool guy.
What on earth?
I think there's better episodes of Seinfeld in 1996.
Yeah.
Then I don't know how that happened. Somebody has
David Mendel's got connections. Weird. So my only correction is last week we asked if you could get Bosco in Canada. So I Googled Bosco. It is a kitchen company. It is a Catholic organization of some sort. It's a high school. It's the name of a home builder in Alberta. You can buy it on Amazon. It looks like you can buy it on Instacart, but then when you click on it, it directs you to Smucker's, Nestle, Hershey, or No Name syrup. So Amazon, it is.
I have one correction.
Mm-hmm.
I mistakenly said that my hat size was 7 5/16 when it is in fact 7 5/8.
Is that bigger?
Yeah.
Got a big dome.
Got a big dome, eh? I also have a picture of our coffee cup counter with only a single coffee cup left in it because all of the coffee cups were in the dishwasher.
There's one left.
There is one left. That's true. There's also, 13 in the dishwasher at this point?
It was the Close Talkers mug that was left. How come you don't use those mugs?
Because they're small.
They are small. But they are available if anyone wanted to purchase one.
Gotta get more merch out there. What's up next week?
Next week is the sponge.
We'll find out if we're sponge-worthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Believe it or not, this is our podcast. Please subscribe at the end. If you subscribed, we would be happy. Please subscribe to us. Believe it or not, it's our podcast.
Is that a Seinfeld reference?